Welcome back, everybody, to Lifting Spirits, Saving Souls podcast. We are here today with Shania Smith.
Hello.
Shania is an independent and freelance artist based in Tacoma. You have worked with nonprofits for logo design, and you also have a business, Space Cadet Art.
Yes.
That you, the listener, can support via her website.
Yeah.
Which we'll have a link on screen to our website.
Yeah, exactly.
Included in the description and whatnot. SpaceCadetArt.GoDaddySites.com.
Mm-hmm.
A little background on her is she focuses most of her art on the themes of Black femininity and whimsy. Today, I want to provide a space to help connect the viewers with her art, and her business, as well as some of the other art and businesses around Tacoma that she's passionate about, because we're trying to connect. If you're living in Tacoma or you live nearby Tacoma, we're trying to connect you better with Tacoma and kind of provide a little networking for whoever's listening, which is everybody on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Every single
Yes.
person.
You keep that same energy. Yes.
So yeah, people can get into contact with you via website, email.
Website. A little link will pop right up once you head over to my website.
It's a little chat box.
Yeah,
right?
it's a little chat bot
Yeah.
that says, "Hey, you have any questions? Come reach out to me. If you would rather do social media, I'm also very much available on IG, and yeah, I'm pretty good about responding. So
Yeah.
don't be shy. I swear I don't bite people."
Yeah, Shania has a very legit website. It's pretty good. The chatbot and everything. It's like when you go on not Amazon, but like just any site that has like a little hey, how are you doing? Ask us a question. Connect with IT or not IT, customer service or whatever.
I am IT and customer service. Yes.
There we go.
Good job.
Shania, could you give the listeners who don't know you a brief background of where you were born and how you came to grow up and continue to live in Tacoma?
All right. So, my parents met in California, and I was born in Las Vegas, Nevada. I spent a couple years there, and then we moved back up to Washington because that's where my mom's family lived. My family used to call me a showgirl. I guess now that's really come true. But yeah, so we moved up here. We lived around Tacoma for a little while until I became a student of the Tacoma School of Arts in Tacoma, and so then but I became a permanent resident after I moved to that school in high school.
Okay.
And
I've
been here
ever since. Were you kind of in the surrounding area before
I was. I used to be in Fife.
In Fife? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Word. Shout out Fife.
Yeah.
Okay. That's Tacoma. That's Tacoma. Do you guys have 253?
Yeah.
Fife?
I think we still did have 253 because it was
All right.
right on
That's
the
Tacoma.
outskirts.
That's Tacoma. We're including 253. All right. Yeah.
Question. How did you start your passion with art?
So how I started my passion. So it was a trying time for me.
Mm-hmm.
My family was going through some stuff. My parents were divorcing. There was a little bit of like financial inconsistencies going on. I was just feeling a lot of pressure for being a 12-year-old, right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't really know how to process all of that. And my mom, she wanted to give me guidance. So she said, "Hey, I can't teach you everything. Why don't you go see the school counselor and see if, you can't learn some coping skills."
Right.
It's good, mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love my mom.
out,
So yes, shout out mom. So I went to counseling, and they noticed that I was starting to like doodle things in my journals. And my counselor said, why don't you see what you can do with art and see if you can't, process more stuff with your art. And I said, okay.
Yeah.
I said, okay. And now here we are 15 years later.
That's awesome.
So let me ask you this question. When I first met you, it was at the People Center, and
Yes.
You were working with the children there, and it seemed like you had your niche going on pretty good. And it seemed like the children love you. Yeah, you have a beautiful personality
Thank
too,
you.
by the way. Yeah, you're welcome. I wanted to make sure I ask you this question.
Okay.
The day that I saw you, you had like everything laid out on the table and like you had everything like organized and things of that nature. How does it affect the children when you see them interacting with your program? I mean, how does that work for you?
So for me, because I get a lot of freedom in my program, I really like to prioritize being able to offer a variety of things for kids to connect to. Because I know for me it was drawing, but then when I teach other classes, like not every kid wants to learn how to draw or be better at drawing. Like some of them are more interested in animation, some of them are more interested in clay, some of them are more interested in painting or crafty things. So I want to bring a lot of that to the table, so that way if they don't have a niche that pertains exactly to me, I'm giving them an option to at least try something, do something new, do something they care about. Because a big part for me, as you heard in my anecdote, is that expression is important.
True.
And being able to create and express yourself that way is really important.
That's good. That's good. I've seen a lot of passion in your work too, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're
Yeah, just really quick for the algorithm, list all your favorite animes and comics.
Yes, big nerd. So another thing that got me started into drawing was the fact that I was a very big anime comic nerd. I watched the original Spider-Man when it came out with Tobey Maguire, and I was like, oh, Spider-Man's so cool. And so I started getting into comics, and then my father was a really big anime fan. He watched DBZ, so DBZ, Dragon Ball Z. That was my starter anime, and then I hopped on to other ones. Like one of my favorites right now is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yes.
We gotta have the pictures of that for the algorithm.
Dragon Ball Z I've heard of. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
That was huge.
So the one thing,
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen is amazing if you like action, because I also grew up on like action cinema, like kung fu films.
Yeah.
And so DBZ, Jujutsu Kaisen, they're very big on action.
Yeah. I want a picture. I'm gonna send you Toto. There's a guy named Toto.
Oh, Toto!
Toto over my
Brother!
Yeah. No, he has a legendary speech. I want his face over my face.
I'm sorry.
I love your letters.
Thank you.
It's different.
And then, all right, thank you. All right, algorithms out the way. All right. Shania, what inspired you to focus on themes of Black femininity and whimsy in your art? And would you be able to kind of explain whimsy
Oh yeah,
a little
cool.
bit? Yeah.
So one of the things that made me focus on Black femininity, whimsy. We'll get to whimsy in a moment.
Okay.
But there's a lot of things that get pushed out into the world, right? That societal expectations, expectations of who you are based on your skin, your body, what gender you are. And when you don't meet those expectations, or if you're not seen in those expectations, you can kind of feel bad about yourself, right?
Yeah, true.
So for me, one of the things that I want to do is make sure that I'm putting forth artwork where I can see people who look like me. I can see Black people.
Yeah,
I can see
like
femininity. I can see different shapes of bodies, because those are all worth seeing.
Yeah.
Make sure that things that seem marginal actually aren't. Everybody lives and walks in a different way throughout their life. So let's celebrate all of that, right?
So you basically kind of saw a need that you wanted filled for yourself, and you basically decided to fill that need
Exactly.
with your own art and your own creative process and what you're putting out into the world. You said you saw there was kind of a void of what people were putting out into the mainstream, so you decided to fill that void yourself.
Exactly, because
That's awesome.
it's like what's it? Let me get my thoughts in order. It's like a lot of people can see what's wrong with the world. There's a lot of things that we can point out and see, oh, that's wrong,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
It's
And
all,
it's a lot, right?
it's all
And
talk until
It's
you
all-
actually do something about it.
Exactly, right? So what's the follow-up? What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to make something, or are you just going to sit there and complain that things are making you unhappy?
Right.
You know?
Do something about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And then real quick, just because I had to ask, what is whimsy? Is it like its own genre? Is there like a pillars of whimsy that you have to know, or like a theology or something behind it, or what's going on?
So whimsy, as defined by the internet, is basically something that is humorous, quaint, maybe something that's like a little bit like on the bubblier side. So as far as I'm concerned, because I did learn technical skills at SOTA, at Tacoma Community College, things like that. And while it's really important to learn about technical skill, it's also just as important to figure out what makes you happy when you create something.
Yeah.
So for me, it's the being vibrant, having it have some sort
Vibrant
of
fit check.
Yeah, exactly. Having it have some sort of like fantastical element. Like I love fantasy. Like I love like things that seem maybe a little different. I don't know. It's just I'm like, why make it normal when I can make it a little extra?
Right. Yeah. Be unique with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, whimsy is just like people know of the word whimsy. That's what you mean by it. Is the actual adjective? It's not like a technique or whatever.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I'd say a lot of genres of art that would be defined by whimsy would probably be like pop art,
Okay.
Like GDB, who's a great female black artist.
Okay.
And also things like if you're going throwback, like I don't know why my brain is blanking, but like the man who made the different pop cans and is all over museums. And it's like Andy Warhol.
Okay.
I believe I got his name right. I'm sorry,
yeah.
my brain is
Andy
fogging.
Warhol what's the dude with the French name?
Google that real quick.
The dude with the French name.
There's a lot of French artists.
No, but he did stuff with Andy Warhol.
Really?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. My more traditionally educated art friends who did art history would probably school me right now.
Yeah, Jay-Z just did his hair like him.
I'm trying to remember.
I don't know. Well,
no, because that's ringing a bell. I'm just trying to remember who.
he did the boxing one with Andy Warhol.
Uh-huh.
They used to be in Red Robin. Shout out Red Robin. Shout out Red Robin. Red Robin.
Heard that, Red Robin.
Yeah, Basquiat.
Basquiat. Thank you.
The producer cockpit.
Thank you, producer. Yes. It was right on my tongue. See, my art friends are gonna see this and be like, Shania.
That's good.
Shout out Basquiat.
Thank you for the views.
So yeah, that's like. So there's a lot of examples of whimsy, just because it's basically anytime you're being very kind of outside the box, imaginative, and kind of I like the word you said, fantastical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Who or what influences your creative process and style?
So, like I said, one of my favorites is GDB. She is a black
That's a
woman.
member of the Wu-Tang Clan?
Oh, nah. Like, no Ghostface here. No red man.
You said GBD?
GBD. Yeah. She's a black she's a black artist who she makes a lot of these really whimsical, beautiful pieces with her digital art that are centered a lot about women and black people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really enjoyed her art. And then I also find that I get very inspired conceptually by music, like Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay.
So let's bring it back full circle. So I am also really inspired by music. So Robert Glasper, I made a piece based around a Robert Glasper song that he did with Erykah Badu. I did a piece around an Outkast song called Chronometrophobia. And so a lot of times...
We can have, for those listening, you guys are visually seeing whatever she's talking about right now. All right?
So it's I find a lot of inspiration anywhere I go, because another thing about the, being inspired by black femininity, I have a lot of black women in my life that I'm inspired by.
That's good. Yeah.
And if something gives me a feeling, if something inspires me, then I move with that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes music just happens to be that thing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Do you kind of when you're okay, I'm just gonna make some art, do you have a thing in mind of for example, what is this piece called?
Oh, this one's called Let's Fly.
Let's Fly.
Yeah.
So when you were making Let's Fly, did you go, okay, I want a cool sunset in the background and I want to display black femininity, but have like really cool celestial, patterns coming out of their hair, or was it just like, okay, I just want to make something cool, and then you just made something cool?
So thank you for also noticing the celestial vibe I was going for.
Yes.
Thank you. So one of the main things I was trying to do with this one is that, again, I like anime,
That's
but
beautiful.
oftentimes,
I
right?
like the image.
Thank you.
It's like the Ezekiel.
Yes. Okay.
Will in a wheel.
Yes. Thank you. See, I'm so happy when people feel it, right?
Yeah.
But so one of the things I was initially going for is that when I started this piece, I was in an art rut.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hitting an art block. And then I had another friend of mine who's a more traditional artist. She does oil painting. She said, Shania, I follow this person online, They mix not watercolor, they mix color pencil with alcohol markers, and it creates such a cool effect. And I have a writer friend who's like, oh, Shania, I've been thinking a lot about like black woman and celestialness. Like she's Christian, so she's like biblically accurate angels.
Okay,
and I also love, mythology. Again, fantastical things. So I was really interested in this concept of sylphs.
Right.
Which is a mythical creature that's basically based off the wind. They're a creature that lives in the wind. They're very free flowing.
Okay.
So I took all those little elements and I said, what can I do with this? And I found some dynamic poses. I started concepting. I said, ooh, these colors look pretty. Oh, this looks cool. I'm gonna put a background on it.
Yeah.
Like, these are flying creatures. Let's put a sky in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's like, that's how my mind kind of works. If I don't have a plan for it, I start sporadically pulling things together. And that's
Gotcha.
just another part of the process. But this was, again, to help with the artist block, and it really did help. And like, I love implementing.
Oh, this was when you were blocked.
Yeah,
I
made this to break the block, and it did.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: how long did it take you to be able to make this?
Yeah. How long does a drawing like that take?
So this one, so a lot of times the concepting takes a lot of time for me because again, I'm pulling from all these different things.
Yeah.
And so after the concept finishes out, which can be anywhere from like.
Is that like a sketch?
It can be a sketch, right? So
what was it for this?
Mhm.
What was the concept for this?
The concept for this was I wanted to utilize some dynamic poses with some, different shapes of bodies.
Okay.
So, I was looking for like these kind of like, these relaxed kind of like free-flowing poses that were also kind of like, oh, you can see them kind of like, maybe you can kind of see them hanging out in the sky.
Okay.
And so as far as that took I'd say maybe, that probably took a few hours to kind of like fully
Get into it.
get into my brain.
Yeah.
But then the actual process of this took me about 2 days.
Okay.
Because, I work, I take care of family.
Right.
And so, I can't always be fully committed to finishing in one big go.
Mm-hmm.
But it took about 2 days. And then, obviously I'm doing self-correction along the way. I'm like, okay, let's see what else I can make pop. What can I add?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, this one character looks like a mermaid to me.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that kind of goes in with the whimsical feeling.
Yeah.
One of the
The
things.
moves kind of go with the.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you. Yeah.
It's almost like an action water figure for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, this
Okay.
one looks more water, but still space kind of. But then this one looks like an angel.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thank you. I appreciate the different interpretations because one of the things I really enjoyed making in terms of fabric is really drapey fabric. I was very good at that in college. So the
She
fact
has a
that
little seaweed vibe.
yeah,
I like the
colors.
diversity of it too. It's like pretty cool. And how
Thank
you blend it
you.
in together. It's like, it makes
Thank you.
pop.
So again, I appreciate the different interpretations. Obviously, I had a goal in mind, but that's the thing about art is that sometimes you just look at things and you get a different vibe from it, and that's really fun to share.
Yeah, it's true.
Gotcha. And is this available for purchase at spacecadet.godaddysites.com?
Yes, I know that's a very long site. Thank you. Yes, this is available for purchase. I have prints of this one as well as the original copy.
Okay.
Go get your prints and go get the original copy.
ASAP Rocky.
ASAP Rocky.
Do you have stickers of this one? Also, she's got stickers on her site.
Oh,
so
yes,
go buy
I
some
do.
stickers.
So
Put them on your Visco or
your Visco.
the Visco bottle.
Yeah.
But You know what I'm talking about? Stanley. It became
Stanley cups.
It started out as back in my day, it was called a Visco cup. Then it was a Stanley cup. I don't know what they're actually. The Hydro Flask.
The Hydro Flask.
Yeah.
It's okay. They have different names, but it's the same thing.
I don't know all the lingo.
Cups and cups to me. Just as long as it stay cold, I'm cool.
But
Put it on your cup. Put it on your laptop. Put it on
Yeah.
your car.
Oh, that's another
coffee
thing
table.
too. Have you ever thought about using some of your art, like to make stickers and stuff to put on different
So
things?
I was doing events a lot last summer,
Okay.
and I created some original designs to be just like their own one-off sticker.
Okay.
And I also had another person of color artist help me manufacture those stickers. He's great.
That's cool.
He helped me get those made, right? And I thought the simpler designs would be easier to sell, which they were, but they aren't one-to-one with these like illustrations because, well, obviously that's a little bit more of like producing side. But basically, when you have a simple eye-catching sticker, that usually does better than like a full illustration sticker. So, you know, if I could turn some of these more elaborate illustrations into stickers, I could certainly try. It'll just be a little more challenging for my sticker man.
Yeah, just
Oh,
make
like
sure you
this
put a
would
logo or
be hard
something
to
on
do.
there so we can recognize.
Because you'd have to basically shrink that.
You'd have to shrink that. That's a lot of color.
Yeah,
There's a
true.
lot of things that go into it. But again, that's more the producing side of it.
Gotcha. But you got this though.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
Yes.
But yeah, this is really cool.
Thank you.
What do you hope people take away when they view your work? What type of feeling or thoughts do you hope that they, I guess, connect with by interacting with your artwork?
Okay, so I did do some volunteer work at a local gallery a few years ago, and one of my favorite things when I was, you know, bringing people into the gallery and talking to them about my work and other people's work is I found that my favorite thing is that when people saw my work, and not only did they find something resonated with or they saw something intriguing,
Right.
it was also this feeling of like, you know, allowing yourself to feel seen, because my art started from a place where my emotions felt very raw and vulnerable, and I didn't know how to put that out into the world. So it's really important that if, you know, obviously everybody again has different things that they see with art.
True.
However, what my main hope is that someone feels seen, someone gets some joy, and that you know, you're seeing maybe something that you haven't gotten an opportunity to see very often.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, maybe it's different totally.
Yeah.
And you know, with that, like, you know, hopefully people see my work and they feel seen, they feel something, you know. Yeah, just
Let me ask you this: when you are interacting with children, when you look at their artwork, do you see potential in some of their artwork?
Yes, absolutely. I have so many students, whether they've stayed with me or whether they've moved on, where I see that they are very capable creatively. Like they either have the joy, the capacity, or the skill for it. And really, it takes any of those three things.
It does.
So,
Passion for sure.
So I see so many young people who have all three of those things or one of those things, and I'm just like, just keep going, just keep going. That's like, and you know, it doesn't matter if it's good right now or if it meets your expectations right now, because for right now you're just learning, and that's okay. Everybody's learning.
Right, and you're gonna make mistakes.
You're gonna make mistakes. Exactly. Like, even if I have a kid who looks at me and they go, I can't make a stick figure, I'm like, then make the ugliest, most wonderful stick figure you can make. Like, you do it. I remember my first time I ever made an illustration, my art teacher was so supportive. I thought it was a mass of black lines and weird shapes. But then she was like, look at how beautiful and unique this is. I said, that is my mass of black lines and weird shapes.
See, but that was that encouragement that was given that inspired you to actually want to do better and just like go for it, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
because I believe you said something about that before when we had conversated, which was like, you know, what drives you to keep going, because obviously I will be the first to say I'm not perfect. Like, I'm not a perfect artist, nor am I a perfect person, obviously.
True.
But there's always more to learn, and that can either be what's the word? It can either be intimidating, or you can let it empower you.
True.
So where you lack in skill, your passion is going to keep you going forward.
That's true.
And you should just, make sure you hold on to that. Don't let life break down
I love
that passion, because you never know where it can lead you.
That's true.
Yeah. That's wonderful. And also, I would like to say, because it's been on my mind, obviously I've seen this art before. Every time I see my woman, I see exactly those two people, but meshed into one, and obviously, but even better and more radiant and unique and beautiful, So obviously, I've definitely seen that artwork before 100 million times. Sorry, that was just weighing on my mind in case you
thank you for sharing.
You know what I mean?
Thank you for sharing.
Anyway, can you share a piece of, you kind of did this already, but could you expand on the one you're talking about that you got from, you can pick. You mentioned the Outcast inspired.
Oh, yes. Chronometrophobia.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
We could maybe put a visual up on it for the people watching. Would you like to just kind of elaborate on kind of the story behind that, and I guess why you made it and why it's kind of meaningful to you?
Okay, so Chronometrophobia is from the Idlewild movie that Outkast did, and their soundtrack. And I remember I heard that song for the first time when I was in high school, and I was like, dang, this song is so good. And then I remembered that it resonated with me, because I remember at that time, because when you're a teenager, you're through puberty, time feels like presses on you. The angst hits, and time presses on you. You're expected to be an adult. You're expected to grow up. You're expected to know what you want with your life, and it just always felt like time was pressing me. And so I remembered going and looking up the definition: chronometrophobia, the fear of time, the fear of clocks, and just Andre 3000's intro just really hitting me. And so I remember after I got out of college, because at that time I didn't have the skill to think about how I would put this into an art piece, but after I got out of college, I decided I was going to go for it. And so when I heard that song and I just really listened to it, the visuals that came into my mind was a series of clocks, just clocks, clocks, clocks. And then I also was reading a lot of poetry, and I was thinking about the concept of Atlas and how he held the world on his back.
Oh, wow.
And so I was thinking about that in terms of an at-least, how sometimes feminine people, women, hold the world on their back, and so you're holding time on your back.
At least is the feminine version. Okay, cool.
I didn't even see it that way.
Yeah. And then, because I'm also a spiritual person, I also interpreted time as not only clocks in this sand capsule. I also saw it as being eternal, right? So the universe is vast. We know the universe is billions of years old. And so I also intertwined that with the image of stars and celestial bodies being inside of this feminine body and being surrounding the clocks.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So my brain goes in one
fast.
direction, and it goes whoop.
That's awesome. Good. Thank you. That was really good. Yeah, that was exactly what I was trying to get to, but I couldn't figure out how to word it.
It's okay.
So I appreciate that.
Thank you for asking.
Can you share a story of someone who connected with your work in a meaningful way?
Someone who connected with my work in a meaningful way. So there was a lot of people. I'm fortunate that there's a lot of people who have been able to resonate with my work. I think one of the things, this story right here, it's from my mom.
Okay.
So when I was in college, I had made a vent piece of a woman wearing red pearls, and she was crying, and I was making that just because I had a lot of feelings I just wanted to get out. But I remember my mom being my biggest advocate. She looked at it and said, Shania, this is so beautiful. This is one of my most favorite things. And that meant so much to me.
Started sharing.
Yeah.
Your mom started.
She
Encouraged you to.
Yeah, she encouraged me, and then she started sharing that piece with people. And what kind of ignited a feeling of like, wow, this like actually can touch different people was the fact that the more she shared it, the more other people were like, are there prints of this? Like, can I get this as a like graduation card or like celebration card for people in my family or whatnot? And some, coworkers of hers being like, hey, can I like have a version of this to give to someone in a card?
Right.
And, it just kind of made me see that, my vision for things, whether it be like kind of out there or not, is actually valuable, and that it could also help bring me some success. And that was really important to me because for a long time I had imposter syndrome. So that's one of my stories that I'm really glad that people resonated.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. That was amazing. Shout out, Mom, for being
Absolutely
the biggest supporter.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Kind of building off of that, what advice would you give to other artists who want to turn their passion into a career?
So one thing you're gonna have to learn is you're gonna have some road bumps, and that's okay. Those are there just to help you learn. If you're not spectacularly great in one area of business, like putting yourself out there or figuring out like the logistics, then you find your community who can help you out. You take classes, and if you're really passionate about it, right, your passion will drive you forward. You don't give up.
It's true.
So you just figure out what works for you. You put yourself out there and keep trying.
Good answer.
What do you think could be done to encourage more people to explore their own creativity, especially those who may not see themselves as artists?
So my thing about creativity is obviously everything for me started with I just need to express. So anything that you can use to express yourself can be considered a form of creation, because look, you have freaking woodworkers, right?
True.
People who can make stuff out of wood and make it beautiful. People who can make things out of beads and make it beautiful. You have poetry writers, poets. You have musicians and people who can write songs. You have painters and sculptors and people who make clothes. Like, as long as you're able to create something, you are technically an artist in some form.
That's true. Yeah.
Like I have a grandma. She crochets like nobody's business. And I have always told her that is a form of creation. That is a form of creativity.
I can do that too, actually.
Yes, really?
Really?
Yeah, what do you think?
And sewing, actually.
You sew too?
I do.
That's awesome.
My grandparents taught me how to sew back when I was younger, growing up, and so you got my needle and thread and little thimbles and stuff like that to keep my little fingers from getting poked by the needles. So to thread it, was kind of like hard at first, but then there's a technique to it. Once you learn it, you get a chance to work with different patterns and stuff like that. Yeah, but I used to like sew straight legs in jeans. Back in the day, this was way before straight legs became jeans. Yeah, exactly. So I think like in the 70s, don't quote me on the age, you guys, but the bell bottoms were out when I was younger, right? And so my clothes really didn't fit because I was a small guy. So I used to always sew my clothes to where they would actually fit me, and that's when we came out with the straight legs. So I used to make all my clothes like that.
That's amazing. Like, I find that inspiring because, there's plenty of people who will sit here and be like, oh, I don't have a creative bone in my body. But the next thing you know, you're fixing and altering your pants, or you're making like a culinary, like 5-star masterpiece in your kitchen. And it's like, you can be creative in any way. You just got to figure out what works for you, what you like, and just keep going. Does that answer your question? Did I get pulled off track?
No, that
actually looked right on track.
Cool.
No, that was always my thing. I relate to that, like the last part of what you were saying a lot, because I would say I'm like very creative, but I'm just terrible at most mediums of, my execution is trash. You know, it's very stick figure based with my art. And then if I'm not making a stick figure, it looks like an unintentional Picasso. You know,
Exactly.
it looks like Picasso.
Listen, I will be that art
But
teacher.
not because it's
I will tell
supposed
you.
to. I was trying to make it, you know, ultra realistic, you know, hyper realistic.
Yeah.
That's my favorite like art to see because it's just
You
cool
like-
to me that someone actually executed it like
Oh
that.
yeah, the
At
exhibition.
least you tried though.
Exactly. See,
Yeah.
if I were your art teacher, if I was your art teacher, I'd be like, keep going. Yes,
Yeah.
you made something. Remember I told you about the black and white blob?
Yeah.
I was so proud of that blob. Be
Yeah.
proud.
The encouraging part for sure.
Yeah.
It does something for your soul when you hear things like that. It should motivate you
Yeah.
to want to do better or want to do more. So yeah, I get it.
And shout out my art teacher, shout out Miss Job, shout out Big John. Both of them encouraged me, but I was always messing around in their classes.
Listen, then you're like
Yeah,
some of the students in my class.
Yeah.
You find your way.
You always in the back of the class or in the front of the class?
Usually I tried to be in the back and then they moved me in front.
Oh, see, that's how you get their attention.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a natural teacher skill. That's what we're like, no one's messing around. Come here.
Yeah, I remember, shout out Josh. Josh got me sent to detention for in Miss Jones' class. And yeah.
But you know
That was
what?
rough for me. That was a rough time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I got an A in that class. It's all good. She was pretty chill.
Good.
Your laugh is contagious.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's helpful.
You know, I will say, like, even though art is not your forte, look what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Don't you think
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
a form of creation?
It is a form of art for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I've gotten better at as I've gotten older, you know, pushing through. I've had different friends along the way who are good artists who
Yeah.
told me, you know, the way you get good is you just keep going. Like
Keep
I used to
going.
have,
Yeah,
you know,
That's
drawings that were trash or sketches or paintings that were trash or whatever. You just gotta keep going. And so I've kind of found what I liked within art and kind of expanded on that. I haven't necessarily gone back as much, but I've done a little bit of sketch work since then, and it's improved. It's not good.
Exactly.
It's
It's
not
okay.
something that I put out to the world.
Yeah, no,
But
at least
like
you tried
it's
to do it.
Exactly.
definitely better. You know, I've seen progress, so I know you're right.
Exactly.
It should be a form of relaxation too. to be
That
honest with you.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can focus more, you know.
So, yeah, I absolutely agree. So one of the things that I struggled with turning this into a profession is that, you know, you do get really fixated on like, okay, what's the technical skill? What can I do? What can I get done? What am I achieving? And so you can get really bogged down by the professional side of it if you can't remember what you got into it for to begin with. Like it was supposed to be about creation and making you smile.
For sure.
I have plenty of artist friends right now who are taking their skills to the next level, and they're professionals. They're photographers, they're animators, whatever, what have you.
Yeah.
And like they get in their head, and I'd be looking at them like, because I have the opportunity to teach young people, I'd be looking at them and saying, think about it outside of the box. Like you can relax a little bit. It can be fun again. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if people actually like evaluate their lives, they'll realize that we're all creative.
absolutely. See, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're all creative.
Yeah.
Just gotta tap in.
You do. Tap in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Testing 1, 2.
Yeah, sometimes press the issue, you know what I mean? Because to be honest with you, it's like they say, the mind is like a terrible thing to waste. But at the same time, it's like, okay, if you focus more on like what you're doing, and maybe you could probably come up with something totally different than anybody else, right? And nothing's gonna actually come out the same. Like if I was to sit down and try to actually do this painting, there's no way I can be able to come out with this.
It'll be different, but that's what it's supposed to be.
Right,
It's-
diversity is good. Yeah.
Diversity is good, and also your art should be not only just an example of your skill and what you're passionate about, make you happy. It should be an example also of who you are
Exactly.
at its most like interpersonal point. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly. Yeah. Focus more on your heart. Yeah. Put
use your
into it.
heart,
Yeah.
not your
Oh, I
eyes. You keep going.
No, I was following, then I was thinking of other questions I wanted to ask, but I was like, no, we gotta stay
See-
on topic. And I was trying to weigh.
It's that Gemini in me. I get a little
You're good.
manic. I'll derail us in a heartbeat.
It's honestly better for me because, I mean, if y'all go back and see my interview with Antonio, we got through 1.5 questions because we were just talking.
Exactly.
all the time.
Yeah.
So
I see
this
that.
is kind of easier for me because I'm able to be entertained while still kind of maintaining it more. Whereas, I mean, that interview went off the rails. It's
It
fun though.
did. It's actually way off the chart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
If I'm not mistaken, I think
people liking it, but
I think Antonio talked for at least about a good 20 minutes tops. You're right on one question for sure.
Oh,
no, it was more than that. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think
It's
the
an
video
hour-long
came out like
interview.
an hour and something.
We literally got through 1.5 questions. I didn't even finish the second question that I was asking.
Yeah.
And we talked for another 40 minutes.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
I see that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, me and Antonio, we've known each other for almost a decade, so
Yeah.
it's just like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's good to have that connection with people though.
Yeah, and we're both yappers too, so it's like we can just go off.
Talk for
But yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
I get it.
No, this is really good. I really appreciate. Honestly, one of the things that I was thinking about too was that you already answered one of my next questions.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna skip that one. It was just about overcoming self-doubt and fear, but you already answered it.
Alrighty.
All right. What would you say to young Black artists, or in general,
Yeah.
artists who feel underrepresented in the art world?
It's exactly what you were saying at the beginning of the interview, right? You don't see what you want to see in mainstream media, so make what you want to see. There's a lot
like
of people who can say like, "Oh, that upsets me," but what are you doing about it?
Yeah. A great philosopher once said, "See a need, feel a need."
Yep, I love that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another thing that's nice about interviewing you is like I'll be dropping random references. Sometimes a lot of people don't get them. To be fair, I've been mostly interviewing, people outside of my generation.
Right.
So.
Listen, one of my
the elder folk, the wise ones.
we listen to our wise folks. It's okay.
The wise folk.
Wisdom does come from them too, by the way.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
And it's all good. Like again, I'm a Gemini. I get derailed easily. I have a lot of different things I'm interested in. I went to secondary school for film, so I love film.
That's good.
2 other creatives, Geminis, Kodak and Trump.
Let's put Prince in there to offset
All right, we
that.
can edit that out. Edit that out.
Hey,
Prince is a Gemini.
I hope you guys know all of these names is gonna pop up in this video.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
So, we gotta have the clip. I'm sending the clip. I was referencing when she said Gemini.
Yeah, please send it
Kodak
to
said,
me. So
"Yeah, my Gemini
I'm gonna post it.
Oh God.
Let's go pop it right now. Bing.
Free Kodak, get him off the pills. Or whatever he's doing.
This is fun.
Yeah. Thank you so much for doing this interview
Of
today.
course.
I was just saying that we're not necessarily wrapping it up. We still got some questions to get through, but
All right.
I appreciate
Okay.
it very much.
Mhm.
All right.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's your favorite food and restaurant?
Oh, favorite food and restaurant. Okay.
Second. You gotta go second. You gotta
Yeah,
go second.
yeah.
Because
Favorite restaurant?
when this gets 1 million views, we don't want, you know what I
Everybody,
mean?
yeah.
Second
Blank,
favorite.
we don't want
okay.
blank restaurant.
Exactly.
being
All right,
blown up.
Exactly.
Oh, no, that's gonna be hard because all the number ones are popping into my brain now.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay, so I love all kinds of food. I really do.
Hey,
Because I was like,
write that
because
down.
I also like them. I don't know if it's any of your number
And
ones,
Alex.
but
No,
I really like.
where
Alex.
is Side Piece located?
Side Piece is located off South Tacoma Way. I think it's right across the street from like Airport Tavern and stuff.
By the
Okay.
mall?
I mean, it's nearish.
I don't know.
It's in the same area, but like the mall's a little further away from them.
Alright, we'll have a link to the directions for Side Piece Kitchen. Take your side piece to that kitchen and take your main to that kitchen.
Oh
You know,
my gosh.
They won't tell.
No! I am a child of divorce. I'm being triggered.
So,
Lord.
hey, I'm a child of divorce too.
Ah! Okay,
Everybody's
same
a child
trauma.
of divorce.
Everybody has parent wounds.
Pretty much everybody.
Yeah, I got over mine though.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
currently
much better now.
I am currently 90% of the way.
Yeah.
90%.
Good job.
Yeah. Yeah. Go take your fourth baby mama to Side Piece Kitchen. Same week as as your new girl. And,
Oh my God.
And they won't tell. They won't tell when you order the same meal for both of them.
Man.
Girl, no.
They won't rat you out. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out Side Piece. Maybe they're a very lovely married couple or something. I don't know what they got going on. We can continue with this, but I do have some other Tacoma specific questions.
Okay.
If you want to do this, go for it. I think we got like maybe a few more minutes. So
Just a few more minutes. Okay.
Okay.
What's your vision for Tacoma's creative scene in the future?
So I feel as though Tacoma does have like a pretty good creative scene. Like we always have
100%.
murals, we have so many just innovative creative people, we have our art
Yeah.
museums, we have
It's
our art programs that are offered through our community centers. I think one thing that I would just love to invest in is just bringing more, having more people feel welcome, right? Because you
Right,
both
true.
mentioned there are folks who feel nervous about being creative and
Sure.
working in their creativity.
Mhm.
Do it.
Yeah.
Be creative.
Yeah, you
Find
gotta be like Nike, boy,
exactly.
for sure.
Just do it. you gotta find your people, find your creatives. We are there whether we're out there,
Right.
like myself, or we're in hiding.
Right.
And you find your people and you just build on it. Like I want to make more spaces where more creatives can come together and
Yeah.
feel safe and expand. Like
Yeah.
immediately Nike, let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, it's like for certain criteria, right? Okay, so say for instance, if I decided to like with this podcast, you wouldn't think that I would be nervous about this.
Mhm.
You would think that it would be like something that would come naturally to me, but
Mhm.
it actually doesn't, right? So it's taken a lot more out of me to actually be more skillful with it,
Mhm.
right? To make it turn into an art. So.
Yeah. And
But
you
you've continued to do it, and you've even like opened up more from even
Exactly.
our first one.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like I'm
So the more I do it,
Mhm.
the more it becomes,
Second nature.
it's second nature. Exactly. I become good at it. Thanks for helping me out there.
yeah.
Appreciate that.
So
But I see that it's all art,
yeah.
right? In
You're
every
making
form. So
something.
whether or not if you realize it or not, we are all creating something, and
Exactly.
it's art. It's good.
I completely agree.
Creating.
And also touching on that, I've not always been the most outgoing person. You talk to one of my besties
Mhm.
from 15 years ago, they'll say, "Oh yeah, I remember when I first met Shania. Everything was, hey Shania, how you doing?" I said, "I'm good."
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
go quiet.
Yeah.
But so
You have to
everything,
develop that.
yeah, like
You have to develop that side of your skill set.
exactly. In secondary school, they call that evolving your soft skills, which are basically how you interact with the world, how you interact with people, your communication, your organization, things like that.
Right.
You can develop your soft skills always.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
100%.
Every day, so
Mhm.
not an experience for sure.
Yeah, real quick. So, what
Yes.
exactly, I guess, is your vision for the future of Tacoma stuff? Tacoma's art scene,
For Tacoma's art scene.
and
So
just creativity.
So I touched on that a little bit, but I would like to see more spaces
More space.
become
Okay.
available for people to be creative and feel safe in expressing their creativity. Whether you are a person of color, maybe if you're neurologically spicy, or what have you.
Neurologically spicy is
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
I like that terminology.
I like that.
You say it's spicy. Because, there's a lot of different things that fall under that.
It does.
And so, just like giving people more opportunity to feel safe in creating and being themselves and learning and building their community based on their creativity. Because there are a lot of folks out here who feel lonely or repressed, and it's like you don't have to be that way.
True.
And there are spaces for you. And, in the future, I just want more of that because one thing I would hopefully like to do in the future is just like hold free classes just in public spaces.
Yeah, so buy the stickers so she can do free classes.
Exactly. And so what day and times are you available for your art classes, especially like working with the People's Center?
So typically I teach a lot of the youth right now. I'm available mostly on Thursdays and Saturdays where I teach my art classes. Saturdays are a drop-in. On Thursdays you do have to apply or register.
Okay.
As far as me getting free art classes out there, I'm not there yet. but one day, I'm keeping it in mind for one day.
Okay.
Another thing I would like to do is make like an artist zine where locals can, put themselves out there.
Okay.
And I did do a zine in middle school, so I'm bringing that idea back.
You did a what?
A zine.
What's a zine?
A zine is like a little homemade magazine that you make with different things that you love and enjoy.
Okay, cool.
And I've also been reading this book that I got from a local shop, Black Clover.
Shout out Black Clover.
Yep, a very inclusive space.
Okay.
They have a wonderful librarian there.
Mhm.
Not librarian, but bookstore owner,
Okay.
who gave me this book called Black Alt Now, and it's basically about how Black people have always existed in Black subculture, or in subcultures like alternative society, about our social norms, things
Right.
like that. It's also just a way of communication, everyday way
So
of
would like
communication.
a more modern example of that be like Odd Future?
Yeah.
Okay.
Odd Future,
Or even I guess Pharrell maybe with like the what's it called? He has that ice cream Billionaire Boys Club.
Billionaire Boys Club, yeah. So kind of, just making your own avenues to help people, further express themselves. Kind of like how like Seattle has The Stranger, like making things like that, where it's like you are putting your local things out there that you're passionate about.
Okay, that's like an art event that they do.
The Stranger is a newspaper that is put out in Seattle.
It's a zine.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a
it's like a zine,
Yeah.
and it's like they talk about music, they talk about culture, things like that. Like,
Okay, cool.
I find that very fun. It's just
No,
another way to
that's
get
awesome.
things
So,
out there.
so what is it, like a city newspaper or something, or just like
Oh yeah,
an
it
event book or something?
it could be an event book. It could be a city newspaper. It often encompasses all of that.
Okay.
But I think for me, if I were to do a zine, my biggest focus would be the local artists, events, putting out people's works. Because if you're gonna make something and you feel proud of it,
Put it out there.
put it out there.
Yeah.
And social media can be a scary place. I'm not gonna discard that.
Or bring
So-
it to our podcast.
or bring it to the
Yeah,
podcast.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bring it to
Hey.
the podcast.
Yeah.
Let's hear about it.
So yeah, social media can be a scary place. A lot of times my students come in feeling intimidated by social media because
True.
you're on a platform
Yeah.
as a newbie where there are sometimes people who are like 20-year veterans and you're comparing yourself to them.
Right.
So it's like, if you can start local, do it. Like
Yeah.
if you can meet with people face to face like this,
Yeah,
have
yeah,
communication,
Yeah.
build your self-esteem, then you can do that.
I like
Start
that.
small.
Yeah, think big.
Exactly, think
Yeah,
big.
think big,
But
start
start small.
Yeah.
Like you start working yourself up.
Yeah, baby steps.
Almost there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Crawl
stay
before you walk.
determined though, because
Yes.
you can lose it, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You don't want to,
Yeah.
but the more you stay focused on it, the more you practice, the more you become whatever you're working on. you know?
Exactly. Your passion will drive you and your skill will catch up.
True.
Yeah, we were talking about that this
I
week
like
about crawling before you can walk.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sure
then
were.
walking in a
Like maybe 2 days ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a lesson that keeps
Yeah,
hitting you.
because when you think about it, like this podcast, for instance,
Mhm.
it starts out as a baby, right?
Yeah.
It's a project, you know what I'm saying? I believe that's worth working for.
Exactly.
But I believe over time, as we progress, things will get bigger, things will get much better. People will start knowing more about it
Mhm.
and feel more comfortable about wanting to do interviews with it. So that would
Yeah.
be a beautiful thing to do, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But at the same time, you have to stay positive about it, no matter how, big or small issues, turn up. Just know that everything's gonna work out for you, work out at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things happen as they need to.
Yeah.
So, roadblocks can be learning experiences.
True.
100%.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a learning curve for sure. I think a lot of people give up on, certain things, especially when things don't go your way. Usually they throw in the towel, but I believe that that's the actual time that you want to actually press in and try to keep going. You know what I mean? To keep the
Yeah.
ball rolling. But in order to be able to achieve anything, you have to make sure that you go for it. You know?
Absolutely.
And you gotta be like Nike, just do it. Don't be afraid. Just jump out there.
Just do it. Yep. I even have to keep applying that lesson to myself. So, it's good. It's good to keep reminding yourself.
Yeah, just keep going.
Yep. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your journey or your vision for art and creativity in Tacoma?
Well,
Past versus future?
past versus future. I'd say, as a comparison, I do feel proud that I've come how far I've come. Something that one of my close friends told me was, give yourself pats on the back because listen, you're doing everything 12-year-old Shania never thought, like always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Always wanted to do, but never felt confident enough to do.
That's
Yeah.
good.
So I am happy that she brought me this far and that I get to continue that dream.
Yeah.
And, just keep dreaming. Like, I still have these big ambitions, these big goals, and eventually I'll get there. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
got
you
some
will.
road stops.
Mhm.
We all got some road stops, but, make the most of it. It's about how you perceive it.
Yeah,
Sure.
and that's even, I ended up skipping a question today,
Mhm.
but we talked about, how, like, one of your favorite parts of teaching students is showing that progress.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then showing your own progress. Like, hey, this is what I used to do. This is what I used to be at. Now, I'm making celestial beings in the sky. You know what I'm saying? With, like, kind of modern, like, almost futuristic outfits, kind of mixed with past outfits. And then they
Mhm.
got some eternal things going on with their hair.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And then they got, beautiful sunset in the background. It's like, yeah, but whatever you were saying, there was a mess of lines that you started out with.
Oh, yeah,
You
the
show
mess
people
one.
that.
Mhm.
So I just thought that was cool and probably pretty awesome as a teacher to be able to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because, that is important to me. Oftentimes, the kids will come in and say, oh, I need to make it perfect. I'm like, first of all, there's no such thing as perfect. You're going to trap yourself in that conception that anything can be perfect.
Right.
You're going to always think everything you do isn't great.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, too, like, look, I may be further along in this journey than you are,
Mhm.
but there's always things for me to learn. Look
Yeah.
at where I started. It's almost the same place you're at now. In 20 years, maybe you'll be even better too, as
Yeah.
long as you keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
Just don't give up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like usually if you go ahead far enough, you end up looking back and being like, especially once you realize your current progress, you end up going back and looking at whatever you're looking at from the past that you thought was, whether you thought it was really good or really trash. When just a little bit of time passes, you tend to go, oh, that's trash. And then once more time passes and you're like to where you want to be at more,
Yeah.
then you look back and you're like, oh, I was all right.
Exactly, right?
It's like looking right now at my age, it's easier for me to look at, baby pictures of myself or kid pictures of myself and be like, oh, that's a cute kid. Like that's a funny kid, he's a cool kid.
Mhm.
And then I look at like pictures of myself in like middle school or high school when I was, didn't have my stuff together and I was like trying to figure out how to be an adult. It's a lot harder and it's a lot cringier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like, as I'm slowly getting older, now it's easier for me to see middle school pictures of myself.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be easier to see high school. And then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like a certain level of, like this podcast, I'll probably look back, like every time we do a podcast, the next day I'm like, oh, that was probably terrible. Dude. I probably messed up this and that.
But
And then, now I
look at
look
things
back,
and you see it. Yeah, you rewind
we've
it.
had some months since we did like the interview with you.
Well,
Since that
I'll
was
say it
up,
like
and
this.
I'm
It's
more
like
comfortable seeing
from my point of view, it's like when you put your best foot forward, everybody's gonna make mistakes, like she said before.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you have to stay
Keep
encouraged.
stepping.
Yeah, keep
Yeah.
going with it. Yeah, don't stop, because what happens is you'll derail yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you don't want to, like continue to keep stinking.
Right.
You just want to like try to do
Yeah.
the most positive thing ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stay focused.
Yeah,
Just
I
keep
agree.
going.
I agree. I completely agree with both your sentiments. I am someone who is an advocate for mental health and therapy. I am in therapy right now. Thank you.
Shout out there.
Thank you, Tacoma government, for actually allowing me to go to therapy. But something that I've always had a hard time that I'm working towards accepting now is that, the young you that you feel maybe a little ashamed about because they didn't always make the best decisions,
Yeah.
they didn't always put forth the most positive outcome.
Mm-hmm.
They were a kid. What did they know at that time, right? They didn't know that things could change. They were doing their best. So you have to honor who you were and give yourself grace so that you can go forward and ultimately fulfill the dreams of that kid or that teenager that was troubled.
Right.
Like my friend was saying, look at yourself at 12. when you were not at your best place.
Right.
And see how far you've come. You would have made her proud. You would have made him proud. You would have made him proud.
That's true. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because what happens is, the encouragement itself is like it's stimulating. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you know you put your best foot forward, you did the best you could. You know what I mean? Everybody's not going to be perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but at least you tried.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing beats a failure but a try. So
Exactly.
yeah, I think you only fail when you don't try.
Exactly. See, that's how I feel. Like, my thing is that if you give up, right, and you stop trying, right,
Yeah,
you are basically saying, well, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
You've committed your body and your mind into this space of, I'm going to be stagnant.
Right.
So, you know, you got to break past that. You got to see that there is more opportunity as long as you're keeping your eyes open.
That's true.
No matter what it is that you're trying to do. Again, we're circling back.
Yeah, yeah.
Creativity is in many things.
It is.
Yeah.
So-
absolutely everything. To be honest with you, yeah,
Mhm.
even drumming. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
Playing the guitar. You know,
Mhm.
it takes time. You know.
Running a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. It does. It takes time.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
If
with
you
the
say,
podcast.
and if you say you're cooked, you're more likely to just
Give up.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So don't do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for doing this today. This has
course.
been amazing.
No, actually, I told y'all I had a rough morning, so this made me feel better.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you
that's
for
good.
allowing me
Hey.
to come on here
Hey,
and
lift
be
the
goofy.
spirits.
Yeah, exactly. Lift the spirits.
And then she's giving us knowledge on how to save the soul.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's all coming together.
Coming full circle. I'm all about this. Synchronicity.
Bro, that's crazy. I was just watching a video on synchronicity yesterday, and they said
Full circle.
coincidence. Bro.
Uh-huh.
Where can people? Thank you again.
Of course.
Where can
Thank you.
people view your work, purchase your designs, or connect with you
So,
at spacecadet.godaddysites.com?
thank you. One of the things is that you can definitely go to that site. Like I said, I have that little AI, that little widget that pops up, says, hey, what do you want to talk about? Talk to me. You can contact me via email on my site. I also have my IG connected to that site. I'm pretty decently active on IG, so definitely if you are a user of that platform, definitely come on, say hello. Again, I promise I don't bite. If anything, you will just get a lot of me being like, oh, side tangent, side tangent. I'm excited, hello.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Don't forget to
Purchase the designs.
invite your friends
Mm-hmm.
and ask them to come to check in on the podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Watch the
No.
broadcast.
I have been,
If you're a friend of the
Telling.
podcast, check in on her website and
Yeah.
go buy her stickers.
thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have been telling all my people about it. Believe me, when you guys, like, I've been sending people your links, I put up the flyers.
Hey, I've been seeing it go off. Every time somebody goes to my website,
Mhm.
I actually see it. So.
That's good, that's
Yeah.
good. So, you know, like every time people are like, oh yeah, you're gonna be on a podcast? I'm like, yeah. Like, you know, I'm gonna, like, when it comes out, you know, see it. And then at the same time too, here they are, let them know. Like,
So let me ask you this: did you have like a hard time introducing the website? I mean, the podcast to different people when you would like tell them about it? Because I gave you flyers and things that
Yeah,
to
yeah.
pass out. So
Oh,
was
yeah.
that pretty easy?
So the flyers weren't too hard because, you know, I just kind of walk around to the local businesses,
Yeah,
see
yeah.
where I can put them. And then also, like, I have family who works in Tacoma Public Schools. So I said, hey, can you put this around your school? And gave them some flyers.
Thank you.
And they said, yeah. And then, you know, when people ask about it because they're like, oh, you're going to be doing this? I'm like, okay, link, immediately,
Yeah,
link.
yeah,
Like,
thank
here.
you. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I believe the more people that we capture, the more, what do you call it, publicity.
Yes, the more publicity. Mhm.
That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
In other words, everybody watching, please go and support their socials and support your local community.
Thank you. I had a brain fart for it.
Anybody on my social. Support the Lifting Experience Every Soul's podcast social. Unless you're gonna give me money. If you're gonna cash out me, you know what I mean, hit me up.
He said, please sponsor me.
Yeah, please sponsor me, sponsor us. Go. I mean, we're working on some merch right here.
Yeah, I've
Ooh, got
got
some merch.
A little bit of merch.
I've got some
Got some merch.
purses, what do you call it?
Well, you have a ton of merch. Yeah.
I've got jackets, I've got t-shirts, hats.
Nice.
You name it, it's all at my Lipton Spirit Saving Souls, my Shopify store.
Okay. All right.
So I believe this summer coming up, we're gonna have a podcast like on the go. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it out there to where the the community will be able to come and check us out or whatever at different events and things of that nature that we have going on. But I wanted to sell my merch at those events. So I'll have like different t-shirts and jackets and things of that nature on hand. And so you guys can actually buy it on the spot. So
I think that's great. I know that they say in the biz, any publicity is good publicity.
That's why we're talking about Kodak and Gemini twins.
they say any publicity is good publicity. To get yourself out there. I would argue in the case of some of our social events going on, not all publicity is good, but at least you're getting yourself out there. Oh God! He said, "No, take your side piece."
Another Gemini, Kanye West.
Oh, fucking! Excuse me, my language. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Cut it out! Freaking Kanye! Cut!
No, but this is a line of fun, man. It's all good. I like this.
I'm glad. They say, oh no, the art teacher is saying F-bombs. Cut it. Stop it.
Come on. Everybody listening probably cuss not in front of their kids.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you guys now. I am gonna drop an
cuss.
F-bomb.
Free money?
No,
Free money?
No, I'm gonna have a big bomb. It just goes. I would say, boom.
Oh, they said F-bomb, boom, and then like do the sporadic beep.
Yeah, please. At least 3 seconds.
I like that though. The bleep is usually funnier than
it is, but I don't use bleeps.
That's even funnier.
And then it's also like I understand that it's also probably bizarre coming from me because
it just came out.
Something you will not know unless you know me personally is that I will cuss like a sailor and then I have to go and be like, "Hi students, how are you?" Oh, and then they'll look at me and they'll be like, "Miss Shania."
We're cutting all this out.
They said, "Miss Shania, like, what are you? You told me not to cuss in class."
I'm
no.
just definitely gotta cut that.
I'm definitely gonna cut that out just in case. But yeah, shout out all the Gemini twins out there. Shout out Shania. Shout out everybody else that happens to be a Gemini who is also an artist. All right. How can the community support you and other local artists in Tacoma?
One of the ways in which that you can come and support local artists is check out your local businesses like Campfire Cafe does poetry nights. ETC is always helping support locals.
Yeah. I'm not wearing any of my ETC merch because people put me on to. I'm not wearing them during February because they never use dark-skinned women in any of their modeling.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it. I don't even know if that's true. Someone just told me that. I don't even know if that's true. Shout out, etc. I got you guys' socks on right now.
Well, see,
but I'm only wearing Movement to Millions, MTM. Shout out. I almost said Rocky. Melly. Shout out Melly. Shout out MTM.
Oh.
That's all I'm wearing. I mean, they don't have any dark-skinned women in their modeling either. It's just the two bros. They're on their modeling. So
you know what? Doing individual research is even with the shout-outs, right? So another one that's
no, ETC's cool. My dad's like cool with the people.
Oh, the owners? That's cool.
A little bit, yeah.
That's cool.
No, not like way back, but they're cool. They've interacted a few times, so.
That's awesome.
So
I really hope we can get them on the podcast.
I think that would be fun.
I don't care that you guys don't use certain models. Okay, it's fine. Just get on the podcast.
He said someone sponsor me, please. Another good one though is All Bets on Us. They're people of color owned brand that's in Tacoma.
All Bets on Us.
Yeah, All Bets on Us.
Brand?
Yes, I bought one of their clothes during their open mic nights at Campfire Cafe.
Oh, okay.
So Yeah, coming full circle, that's what I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely one of the ways that you can support your local artists is support your local businesses, because they're usually housing people in their spaces, like Matisse's. Like they're housing people in their spaces to be creative. Like Black Sheep, housing people in their spaces to be creative. Also make sure that when we have those small events like the open mic night at Campfire LLC, there are artists or singers or other people who are there, and you can commune with them, right? In a more social, comfortable setting.
Okay.
And obviously, support the community centers.
Yeah.
We have heck of people here.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, for real.
I will put you on to anybody. Just let me know.
Yeah, we definitely put some links and stuff up to, you said,
I will do
Campfire Cafe.
I will do
Where's
that.
Campfire Cafe at?
It's off Market and 17th.
So North Tacoma.
It's in downtown Tacoma. You were close.
I was gonna ask that question, but you beat me to it.
Where's that?
Yeah,
I've
because I
never
was
seen that.
curious myself.
Where it's like by that old card museum.
Oh, it's you know
like
where UW
pancakes.
is? You know where UW
Yeah,
is?
you don't
I do.
yeah.
I know
Yeah,
what you said,
so UW-T, if you go up the street from the TAM,
Okay.
it's literally right
What's the
there. Oh,
Tacoma Art
Tacoma Art Museum. Mhm.
Okay.
So if you go up the street from the Tacoma Art Museum, you will find it just hanging out on the corner of Market and 17th.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if you want to go
I know
by
exactly
with
what it's
some,
at.
you know, I mean, some homeless people that are yelling at, you know, God and life and, you know, and screaming at you even though they never met you, and then you want to go enjoy some really good art, you know what I mean? Art is, maybe they're chill around the Campfire
Oh,
Cafe.
they are more chill.
Because
They are.
art is supposed to antagonize the comfortable and comfort the antagonized or something like that.
Yeah!
Yeah.
I like it. But you know,
That's
like,
a quote from Basquiat.
Yeah.
yes.
Well,
No, I mean, all day.
I was just trying to bring it full.
Full circle. It's okay. But yeah, so there's that. There's Campfire, and also this is just for me because I'm a sweets addict. Love by the Slice. Love by the Slice is on Hilltop. It's down the street from People's Community Center.
It's Cupcake Place?
What's the name of it?
Love by the Slice. It's a cake, cupcake, and cookie place.
I
Okay.
think I've been there
And
before. The lady's
so
very
good.
nice.
She is so nice.
Yes.
And her food is so good. I walked
It's
in.
really close to People's.
Yeah.
And it's next to that like monorail thing. That
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
It
Yeah.
is so
They're
good.
great. Yeah.
Listen,
Really
I
good
went.
food, and the lady's amazing.
She's so nice, and she also does custom orders,
Yeah.
Okay.
and like she does sugar free because again, not everybody can digest sugar. Shout out to my mom who had bariatric surgery. Everybody who's diabetic.
Swag. Shout out
Um,
Diabetes Swag. We
Oh,
love Diabetes Swag.
So like she makes sugar free options. And I literally walked in one day just being like, hey, can I have a cookie? Just one cookie. And they're like, well, we can put it in the oven for you. Are you willing to sit here for 15
Oh,
minutes?
wow.
I said, yes.
Yeah.
I will sit here and wait. And we
It's
just,
birthday, right?
yeah, and it was worth it.
Yeah.
That
So
cookie's
they
big.
do they have the really big ones with the?
It's like, yeah, it's like this big,
Oh, wow.
right?
Right.
And
Okay.
then like it's delicious.
Okay.
Like it's so good. Like the company is nice. They're so wonderful. It's
Yeah.
a nice little sweet
I love peanut butter.
ambiance.
They got peanut butter cookies. Can you do
I actually
peanut
don't know.
butter cookies with like maybe some morsels or whatever?
I
you
think
call them?
maybe that might be like a customizable order.
Okay.
That'd be fire.
But they did like, oh, one thing I absolutely loved. They had like a yam / sweet potato like cupcake
Mm.
that was so good. I was like, what?
What
What
about
is
red
this?
velvet?
They got red.
They
They got
def- come
heck
on.
of red velvet.
I just
They got
come on,
heck of red
yeah,
velvet.
They got the
Yes.
red velvet. Come on. Also, shout out. Speaking of bakeries and custom orders and red velvet. Red velvet's an option. Shout out Yana Baby Bakery.
Yes, they
Yeah.
they just did the
yeah.
Black History Month luncheon at the People Center.
Yep, sure.
Oh,
did.
for real?
Mhm.
Yeah, we have
Okay.
glass there too.
Good job, Yana. But yeah, Yana used to you know be in this. We're not. Whatever location this happens to be, she used to be in the nearby location.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. Probably.
Yeah, you can.
But yeah, she's good people, and I mean she goes crazy. If you
Oh, her
if you
food
check
is
out,
so good.
Oh yeah, I
check
love
out
her.
the
I love her
Instagram.
cookies, man.
Mhm.
that's like
Yeah.
one of the few like food Instagrams that I follow. I don't follow a lot of people that I don't know in real life, so I'll follow you because I know you. But
Yeah.
it's also like
Oh, I tried her baked goods for the first time
Yeah.
at that, at the luncheon, and I was like, this is so good. Why didn't I know about this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she bakes pretty good.
I forget what I bought. I bought like a parfait, but it was like
A parfait. Oh.
but it was like a cookie parfait type of
Oh,
thing.
I love
Yeah,
that.
it was really good.
You know what? We need all the BIPOC sweets owners to like do a collaboration. 'Cause, listen, I need to get either Yana Baby or Love by the Slice to make a ice cream cookie with Dreamers
Oh, I like
and
that
and mass
sounds
market it, please,
Yeah,
so
that
I can
sounds good.
satiate my sweet tooth.
Wait, who's Dreamers?
Dreamers is a BIPOC owned, black owned ice cream shop that's next to. It's next to.
Oh, they catered for us too.
Yeah, they're so
Yeah.
good. Like,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
they're
yeah.
so friendly in there. The
Tall dude who runs
yeah,
it?
husband and wife team.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't.
Yeah.
I only saw the husband.
Nah, they are. I love.
So it's
I love
called Dreamers. Bakery?
Dreamers.
Yes.
Dreamers
Yeah.
is literally just an ice cream shop.
I might have their card actually in my wallet. But yeah. Anyways, any events that are upcoming, like big art events?
Any upcoming art events? Not at this time. Not at this time. I'm hoping
Okay, next
if
year.
some things roll over, some things work how I'd like them to. I might be able to start some of my free classes in the late spring, early summer. On top of that, though, I also do Cutie Fest, and Cutie Fest is trying to move from Seattle to come down more towards Tacoma. Cutie Fest there is an art festival. There's an art festival that
Alright. Cool.
they just help local young artists. So.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then like
So we running out of time.
We running
wrap
out
it
of
up. We gotta wrap it up.
See again the tangent.
So what I want to say to you was thank you.
Of course, yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming on the broadcast.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if you know anybody else who would like to be on the show, I'm more than likely, very glad to meet them and hopefully get introduced to what we can really have them on the show.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will start.
Go to
I'll
liftingspiritsaving.com and sign up for the podcast.
Absolutely. I will start hitting everybody and be like, hey,
Thank
Yeah.
you.
hey.
Come on the show.
Come on the show.
We're gonna be taking this to a whole nother level. I'm not gonna tell you guys my next move, but
Okay.
believe me, it's gonna be huge.
Okay.
Right,
I
so
look forward to it.
Whatever we doing now is gonna be up and out. Give or take about 30 days.
All right.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you know when we hit the big time.
Absolutely. No. Obviously. Don't not tell me.
No,
Don't not
let
tell me.
you know.
You know
I'm putting it out there.
You know I work in the same place both of y'all work, so if neither you tell me, I'm gonna be salty.
Yeah, I'll let you know. Trust me, I got you.
I'm gonna come up to you and be like, excuse me?
Yeah. Like, Derek, did we get there yet? Yeah.
I'm busy on cleaning something.
I'd be like, no, you drop that cleaner right now.
But
But yeah, thank you for showing up and just anything else.
I was just gonna say thank you for being here.
Thank you for having
That was
me.
great.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for listening. And
Thank you for listening.
yeah.